want to get your guys' take on something that happened this week because of some of your background.
Okay.
Is Tupac still alive?
Oh my God, this has nothing to do with the movie.
It does. Well, the movie deals with death.
Everybody
and
is still
spirituality.
alive. Nobody ever dies. You're asking the right
Wait a
question.
second.
Well, that's why I
Shirley,
asked you,
did you
'cause I
hear
thought
about
maybe
this
you knew.
Coachella
Yes, I know,
festival?
and not in 4D or whatever they call that
Exactly.
holographic crap.
Yeah.
No, he's still alive anyway.
It sounds pretty
It's like
impressive,
somebody said to me once, and you're one of those people who thinks Elvis is still alive. Yeah, I am.
Well, you know, the controversy is the fact that he said Coachella, and they've done some tests on this. That's actually his voice, and Coachella wasn't around when he died. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
They
that's
said-
why the controversy.
Is it really his
come back.
voice?
That's what they've said. They've done.
Really,
tests.
they did the
They did the
forensic
tests.
testing, the
Yes,
CSI.
on the audio.
I don't believe that. I think it was
Wouldn't that
pretty
be a
easy.
great channeling session? That's my phone.
Well, that's
Wait a
Tupac.
minute, I want to see who's calling.
1 second, please.
That's
It
all
could be him.
This is crucial.
It might be.
It could definitely be him.
Listen to that ring.
I like it.
What if it's Tupac?
That would be great. We're rolling.
From the other world?
It could be. He can call.
I got it.
I thought I put it
Well,
in.
while she's looking at the phone, I want to ask you, Jack.
Yeah.
Are you going to be on the Aquabats? Or are you waiting second season?
I'd love to be on Aquabats, but I have no plans to be on Aquabats as of now.
Not yet.
But, you know, I'm tight with those guys because of Yo Gabba Gabba.
Yeah, I know
Yeah.
that. That's why I asked that question.
It
'Cause
has
I
a
love that show. I think
We'll
it's
see.
awesome.
Yeah,
You watching
it looks
it?
good. No, I haven't been watching.
I'll get the
My
message.
boys are not quite old enough because there's some kind of scary stuff.
Here,
Monsters.
here's the pops again.
Because
They're
they're
Well, they've
little
had some
freaks.
guest stars on there, and they Paul Scheer was on there last week, and
Oh,
you
really?
don't see his face or hear his voice. So I thought that was pretty interesting that they're doing that. So, anyways, there's this line in this movie: you don't want grief tragically becoming comedy, and that kind of sets up the rest of the film. I mean, can you kind of talk about that line? And I think that came from somebody that he interviewed, Richard,
Who
right?
said that? Oh my
Uh,
God, that's a great
I mean, that's a line that Bernie says right at the beginning of the movie when he's talking to a group of people and teaching them how to prepare the corpse for the funerals.
Oh.
And that was just a written line, and yeah, that is a line that is kind of a theme for the whole movie, because this is a tragedy, but it's also a comedy. So there's a strange mixture there. It's a fine line.
Well, I talked to Richard, I think maybe a year ago, and he said that some of the people in that town are kind of split on the movie.
Mhm.
What are your guys' take on that? Some thought it shouldn't be a comedy, and some thought it should. I mean, it was
Right.
really a kind of a 50-50.
Yeah, some
kind of
thought he
look at
didn't
it.
kill her too.
Yeah, that's true. I remember when we did a premiere in Texas, and someone at the end during the Q&A said, "Why to make this a comedy?" And you know, there are some elements of the story that are just strange, and so strange that it's funny, but yeah, it's not for everybody.
No, and Shirley, I watched this retrospective on you not too long ago, and your first movie was
Same thing, Trouble with Harry.
Trouble with Harry. I was wondering if the kind of
Same thing.
aspects in that kind of pulled you back into this. I mean, was that something that kind of
No, I forgot all about it.
really? Oh.
But when I
How
look
could you
at,
forget about that movie?
I don't go around thinking about Alfred Hitchcock at my age,
No.
and it's my phone again. And what it,
Do you have a different ring for every person that calls? Because that's a totally different ring
I
than
know,
the last
it's
one.
another phone.
Oh, I
It's
see.
another phone.
You're like Tupac with all your phones.
You know, that's really interesting to me that his voice and the controversy is that word. I'm going to check into that channeling wise tonight.
You should.
Yeah, I will. No, the whole idea of death and comedy, I'm always struck when I go to a funeral, but I don't go to them too much anymore because I believe in the celebration rather than the fact that they die, because nobody ever dies, in my opinion. But you hear great jokes at funerals because it's the gallows humor. You want to take the edge off of this dramatic thing called death. And I think it's built in for comedy if the characters are really bizarre. If they're not bizarre, if they're real straight, it's not funny.
And you can't have a movie with Bernie in the title without it dealing with death.
Because of Weekend at Bernie's?
Yeah,
Is that what you're
exactly.
thinking?
Yeah. No, don't say that.
I guess
You're like,
there's
"You're
no way to
out of here
avoid
now."
it.
No,
It's
you
called
can't.
Bernie, and there is a movie called Weekend at Bernie's
He has a
that
exact same
also
mustache,
deals
too.
with a corpse.
I don't know if you realize.
But the movies could not be further apart from each other. I don't want any confusion. This is not a sequel to Weekend at Bernie's.
It's a prequel.
It's not a prequel.
That's good.
Thank you, guys.